Hey guys, so on Monday we looked at context in Greek mythology and how, in our own reading, we can still see some of the Greek allusions, like Cupid, for example, and how, if that's used in a text or a story, they're actually just talking about like a matchmaker. So today we're actually going to continue looking at that and we're going to apply it to a story. So today our learning target is we will use context and what we've learned about Greek allusions to determine the meaning of a phrase in a text. We're doing this so we can better understand what the meaning of a phrase is. And you're going to know you have it when you have determined the meaning of a phrase as used in the text. So our story is Tag Your It. I'm going to go ahead and read it and then answer a question about it. So Tuesday, 12:45, recess. The game is tag. The stakes are high. There is no time to waste, Ryan said, this to himself under his breath on the edge of the jungle gym where kids played tag. When kids on his playground played tag, he pretended to be a commentator in his deepest possible voice. He took the imagined audience through the ups and downs of the match. Ryan knew something about disappointment. He had time to play commentator because nobody really wanted him to play tag. He'd never understood why, but when he joined the game, nobody would chase him. If he did somehow manage to become it, nobody would run. But he didn't try to play. If he just narrated the game, he wouldn't be left out. He was still playing tag. He was just playing it in a different way. Hey, kid, said a voice behind him, a freckle-faced girl with frizzy pigtails named Angela, a newcomer to the game. Ryan thought to himself, a rookie, hungry for respect. A you're it, she yelled. You're it, she yelled. Ryan froze. He hadn't been it for a long time. He didn't know what to do. The rest of the players stopped too and stared at him. If he moved, would they move too? Or would they stand there waiting for him to quit embarrassing himself and get off the playground? Weirdo, shouted Angela. This isn't freeze tag, start running. So he ran the only way he knew how, with narration. He races up the slide and across the footbridge. His target is in his sights with just a few feet away. The bridge's wooden slats clatter under his feet, sending shockwaves up his spine and into his jaw. Ryan is undaunted. This will be his hour. He reaches toward his foe, stretches out his fingers, and ow! Ryan's hand clutched air. He fell face forward off the jungle gym, landing where Angela had been just a moment before. She had slid down the fireman's pool. He had not been so graceful. Dazed and confused, the young competitor tries to get his bearings. He looks up and sees the face of his nemesis staring down at him, looking concerned and curious about why Ryan is still talking to himself. I think you might have broken your brain, Angela said. Ryan's brain is fine. Angela is the one who needs to worry. Why? Ryan leapt to his feet and poked Angela in the stomach. Because Angela is it. Ryan turned and ran, a happy gladiator, battling at last. All right, so now that we've read that, let's take a look at our question. So we know that Nemesis was a Greek goddess of retribution. Retribution means like you're trying to get back at somebody or punish them. And we know that she punished other gods for breaking laws. So, as used here, we see that dazed and confused, the young competitor tries to get his bearings. He looks up and sees the face of his nemesis staring down at him, looking concerned and curious about why Ryan is talking to himself. So, first and foremost, I know that I can use context clues to really figure this out. And we know that when we use context clues, we plug it in. We use things like synonyms and antonyms. We use things like examples. So I know that here he's playing tag. Well, if he's playing tag and he's the one who's it, he's trying to get somebody. So, or they're trying to get him. So as nemesis is being used, I think I may be able to plug in like enemy or opponent there and see if that works. So the question is, as used in the text, what is the meaning of nemesis? So I know I need to restate, answer, cite, and explain. So the word nemesis means opponent or enemy. So I know that I've restated that and I've answered that at the same time. I'm then going to cite it. In the text, it says that he saw the face of his nemesis standing above him. And then finally, if I explain that, if they are playing tag, then the person who is it would be the enemy or opponent of the person being chased. That is how I know that nemesis means enemy or opponent. Okay, so not only did I use an example from the text, or I used the like what was going on in the text to help me figure out what that meant, but I know that if I go back to my text and I plug in enemy or opponent here, I also know that can help me figure it out. So he looks up and sees the face of his enemy staring down at him. Or I could say he looks up and sees the face of his opponent staring down at him. And that's how I know that nemesis most likely means in this passage that it means like an opponent or enemy. So today I used allusions from Greek mythology